What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Today, we'll be talking about the latest transfer news coming out of Arsenal, as Arsenal have got another midfielder to commit to a new contract. He's not quite of the standard of these two in the background, so we'll talk about that. I'm sure you know who it is. And obviously, we'll go through all the latest transfer news. Mikel Arteta has been talking as well, and a few players being linked with moves. Big up to everyone. Happy Wednesday today. Hope you're all well. First week without the Premier League season. And you know what? I said at the weekend I was glad that the season had finished because, to be honest, I'd had enough of watching us capitulate at the end of the season. But I can't lie. I'm sure by this weekend or maybe just after, I will start missing football when you start having to do housework and things like that. So big up to everyone for tuning in. Let me slow it down, people. Let's go into Mikel Arteta mode, people. Let's go into Mikel Arteta mode. He said he needs another 5 transfer windows, so slowly does it and all that. But big up to everyone for tuning in. And first of all, I want to thank everyone. Yesterday, I did my first pre-recorded video in a while. We got great numbers on that, over 20,000 views, lots of interaction, lots of comments. Really appreciate that. And I will be doing a lot more of that as well. Obviously, at the moment, there's not a huge amount of news. So some days I don't want to force trying to do a live stream for 45 minutes to an hour. And it will just be maybe a 10-minute pre-recorded video. So big up to everyone who tuned in for that. And we got lots of new subscribers on that as well. So big up to you. Jack said, I missed the member stream. We will do another one. We'll do another one in a week or two. That member stream was absolutely brilliant, by the way. Nearly 2 hours. I didn't want to rush anyone from talking. You all had a lot to say, so I knew it was going to be a long stream. So we'll do another one maybe in 2 weeks when we get some more transfer news. Big up to everyone for tuning in today. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Road to 50k settings. Like the video. Big up everyone following on Twitch. Make sure you follow on there. And big up everyone on YouTube. C-Unit Business. C-Unit. Big up your damn selves. Right, people. Let's talk. I thought it was only right that I put 2 legendary Arsenal midfielders in the background today, just to remind myself of times gone by. History channel settings, people. It's like Premier League years on this channel, but I'm going to have to focus on the here and now. And the here and now is this fella has signed a new contract. I'm sure you know, I'm sure you've all seen it, but let's bring him up on the screen. There he is, people. There he is. Mohamed Elneny signs a new contract with Arsenal Football Club. I mean, listen. I've come on here for the purpose of all of your opinions because for me, I mean, if I say too much, I'll be in big, big trouble. As one Jose Mourinho once said, I think I better keep my opinions to a minimal about this deal. Now, I understand both sides to the argument when it comes to this deal. 50% of you will probably say, cheap wages, happy to be 4th choice, good squad player, experienced, use him in the Europa League. Cool. That's what 50% will probably say. 50% will say, he's been at the club for 6 years, he's not good enough, you wouldn't want him in your team on a regular basis, and he's probably reached his ceiling in terms of where he's going to get as a footballer. Now, for me, I'm going to be totally honest, as I always am. That's what I do on this platform. I give you my opinion. I'm not happy with this deal, right? I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not happy with this deal. I understand the other side to the argument. I just kind of look at it and I think, Where can he take Arsenal? I know you can say squad player, but sometimes squad players get taken out of your hands and you get forced to play that squad player. We've just finished the season with squad players in our starting lineup. Rob Holding, squad player. Eddie Nketiah, Mohamed Elneny, Cedric, Tavares at times. We've ended up with 5 what you would call squad players in the starting lineup. And ultimately, those squad players have not been good enough to get us into the top 4. So this is my problem. What I think we should have been doing is signing players that are better than the ones in the starting 11 and pushing some of those players in the starting 11 down to the bench so that they're pushing to get back in the team. That, for me, is how you lift the level of a football club. Rather than saying, well, he's at the bottom of the pile, he's not going to cause us any problems, so we just give him a new contract. For me, it's a very convenient deal. I personally am not a big fan of it. But listen, I want your thoughts and opinions. Let's get a poll up. The poll is simply going to be, would you have given Elneny a new contract? Would you have given Elneny a new contract? That's what I want to know. Would you have given Elneny a new contract? And as I said, get your thoughts and opinions in, people. The poll is up. Let me know. I just think when you've just finished a season in the way we finished it, that was disappointing. We missed out on top 4. The first thing we should have done is done something that lifted this football club. Yes, we missed out on 4th, but boy, we've just announced Basuma, we've signed Jesus, or we've done something that lifts us. To me, it just feels too nice, too convenient, and I don't think nice, convenient football clubs are successful. Would Elneny have got a new deal at Chelsea? I won't even say Liverpool and Man City because they wouldn't have even signed him. But Chelsea, maybe even Spurs, I just don't see it. But hey, it is what it is. I want to know your opinions. Ray Kwan said, let's be real. Elneny is one of Arteta's boys. Big up with the super chat. For anyone that forgets, actually, Elneny was teammates with Arteta in Arteta's last year or two when he was at the football club. So they're friends, really. They're ex-teammates. So he was always gonna give him a new contract, in my opinion. Jay Dime said this club will never lift us. JY said he's a workhorse. He'll encourage the others around him to put in work. Good move. I hear you. Kidded said 1 year only, so this is probably his last. It is 1 year with a 1 year option. It is Arsenal's option. But, he'll probably end up here for 2 years because they'll probably give him the option as well. We can't let the GOAT go. Jalen, I'm sure you're trolling. Theo Live said Elneny will just shut up and get on with it. Perfect for Arteta. I always go back to what Emmanuel Petit said. He said, if you're quiet and you hide in the background and you train well and keep your head down, you'll stay at Arsenal for a long, long time. And I think this is that being brought to fruition. He's a nice guy. He trains well. He's got a good attitude. And he's willing to sit on the bench so he gets a new deal. For me, that's not what the biggest football clubs do. It's about how good you are. Yeah, he's come in and done well for half a dozen games. But could he produce that for 4 months, 5 months? I just don't know. But I want to know your opinions. Dan said, considering we only have Europa, so we need some squad for not so hard matches in the group stage. 1 year deal for Elneny isn't that bad. Red White said, this Elneny contract is not going to be an issue if we sign 2 Prem quality centre mids. Elneny is a rotating player. We need a few players like him. My problem is, and I appreciate the super chat, you've got Lokonga, you've now got Elneny, you've got Thomas Partey, that's 3, and you've got Granit Xhaka, that's 4. Now, Xhaka, I would definitely sell Granit Xhaka, right? 100% I would get rid of Xhaka. But Xhaka signed a new deal last year. He's on even more wages and he's another year older. So if you don't sell Granit Xhaka, which I don't think Arteta will sell Xhaka, I only see Arsenal buying 1 new centre midfielder because I don't think you can afford to have more than 5. 1 new centre midfielder leaves us with 5 midfielders. So I don't see him buying 2. I think we need 2. So we'll have to see how this develops. We'll have to see. Curtis, have you watched the Nuno interview? I saw some clips from it. Seems all right. It's nothing groundbreaking that he's saying, really. John said Lokonga should go out on loan. I agree with that. Ryan said exactly, sign 3 midfielders. I drive Xhaka to the airport, says Viking. Let me just quickly go through some Elneny waffle. The big interview with Mo Elneny. What a big interview this is, people. Mohamed Elneny is extending his stay with us. Mo, who is 29 years of age, has been a key member of the squad. Key member? All right, we'll let it slide. Since he joined us from Basel in 2016, he's made 147 appearances. Wow, 147 appearances, man. That is crazy. Scoring 5 goals and contributing 10 assists. Mo is the first Egyptian ever to play for the club, has 93 international appearances to his name, made his Arsenal debut in the 2-1 win against Burnley in the FA Cup in 2016, and was in the 2016-17 FA Cup winning squad. He was also a part of the FA Community Shield in 2017 and 20, helped us reach Baku in 2018. Elneny said, I love this club and I feel like part of this family. I want to continue at this amazing club, an amazing family, and I'm very happy and very excited for the future. Of course he is, fair enough. Listen, if I was Mohamed Elneny, I'd be happy and excited that I'd just got a new deal at Arsenal, because let's face it, if he left Arsenal, he was only going downhill from here. Let's keep it 100. He was only going downhill from here if he left Arsenal. So I understand him being so happy. Mikel Arteta said, Mo is a really important part of the team. He brings endless enthusiasm, energy and commitment to the team, and is loved by everyone. He's an important player for us on and off the pitch, a real role model to our younger players, and I'm delighted he's staying. This is like a, fluffy teddy bear. Everyone loves him. Technical director Edu added, Mo has an incredible mentality, which is so important for our squad. It helps the team as much as he can every day. We are all very happy to have him with us as we look to build on what has been achieved this season. And I think I better end it there before I say too much. We got 5th. Fair enough. I wouldn't say we achieved much. I think that's straight cap. I think he needs to relax there, Edu, talking about what we achieved. I think you need to calm down with that. Andrew, appreciate the super chat, said, rather than moving Elneny and Xhaka out of this club, it's just for the club to let them stay longer. Tottenham have a brighter future than us. Listen, I just don't know. I don't know how to approach this situation now. Somebody pointed this out to me, and it's a fantastic point that somebody pointed out to me, right? Did you know, end the stream Dave settings, people, end the stream Dave. Did you know that Mohamed Elneny has more followers on social media than any other player at Arsenal Football Club? Mohamed Elneny. He has, I believe, somebody was saying he has over 5 million followers on Twitter. Mohamed Elneny. Now, just to put that in perspective, I'm just quickly looking at this now. And I wouldn't have believed that, but Mohamed Elneny on Twitter, just as an example, has 5.2 million followers. So he has a huge audience. Now, when you look at somebody like Saka, who's probably our star boy right now, Saka has 700,000. Thomas Partey has 400,000. Mohamed Elneny has more followers than any other player at Arsenal Football Club. Even Aubameyang has 2.1 million. Elneny has 5.2. He's got a huge following. Yeah, probably a lot of followers from Egypt. So, Arsenal probably looking at it like that as well. We keep Elneny. He's cheap. We sell a lot of shirts in different markets. He's got a massive following. Gian said he has 4.4 on Insta, 5.5 on Twitter. You're talking nearly 10 million followers on social media. So it's a mad one. Nick said I could handle Elneny staying if I knew Xhaka was being sold. I would rather keep Elneny than keep Xhaka, because at least when you do keep Elneny, he's just going to sit down. Xhaka actually thinks he should play and thinks he's a big boy and wants the captain's armband. So, yeah, I agree. I would rather keep Elneny than Xhaka, but personally, I would have got rid of them both. Daniel said you need to hit that market, Big C. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I could do a hit in that market myself. I need them numbers. Man said he brought them. Africa supports Elneny. That's crazy. It's the loyal Middle East following, said Gambian Guna. At least another season of Chuckle Vision. I mean, there we go. We move on. Let me end the vote. Oh, interesting. It's close. Didn't expect it to be this close, people, but it is. Listen, I respect your opinions. 52% say that you wouldn't have given Elneny a new contract. 48% say that you would. 48% of you would have given Elneny the new contract. That's interesting. And I did say it would be pretty 50-50 because a lot of people just don't see any harm in Elneny staying for a year. I just think sometimes a player can't really take you much further. And I don't think Elneny can take us far. But it is what it is. If I speak, I'm in big trouble, as Fremi's saying here, you know. 52% trust in the process is mad. JC said, I can rely on Elneny more than Xhaka. Well, while you've got that one sitting on you people, you know, Elneny, new contract, and 48% of you are willing to accept it. You're happy with it. So cool, I'll leave it. They misclicked. Nimbo said they were trying to click no and click yes by accident. If you felt Wednesday was heading in the wrong direction, then wait until you see this, people. Wait until you see this. Elneny, all right, cool. Backup dancer. Arsenal have offered Eddie Nketiah their final offer of a new contract. It is understood the club's new offer has now been formally offered, with sources claiming the striker is ready to stay at the club. Sami Mokbel exclusive in the Daily Mail. Now, I want to leave that one with you for 5-10 seconds. I want to see how you feel about that one. Yeah, yeah. The energy changed real quick now, innit? I can hear you, people. I know what you're thinking, but I can hear you through the screen. I know what's going on. Like, Elneny, cool. Like, I don't back Elneny's new contract, but fourth choice, fifth choice, I can just about get my head around it. But I want to know what you're telling me now, people. What are you telling me now? Eddie Nketiah, second choice striker next season, coming off the bench when Gabriel Jesus can't score because he's getting bullied by Van Dijk, and we're bringing on Eddie Nketiah. That now what we saying, people. Now what we saying. I'm gonna put another poll up in a minute. More polls than a strip club. Let's go again. I want to know what I want to know about this percentage now. Nketiah, new contract. Do you agree? Nketiah's new contract, do you agree with it? Yes or no? Simple as that. For me, I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. You have to get to a point as Arsenal fans where you say, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Cultural reset. Trust the process. Project Youth. All of these words that they use, right? I want to know how Granit Xhaka, Mohamed Elneny, Eddie Nketiah, Rob Holding are all getting new deals. That's what I want to know. Yeah, you got man like Guendouzi, 9 million. You got Aubameyang getting paid to leave. You got Saliba being loaned out. You got... How on earth are these men getting new contracts? If you're turning this football club around, you're steering us in a new direction. And let's face it, people, when Lacazette leaves, we're going to have two shirts available for strikers, number 9 and number 14. He's going to wear one of them. He's going to take one of them, people. Because if I'm signing a new deal and I'm a striker, I used to love number 9 because R9 Ronaldo was my favourite player. So I would want number 9. But if you're an Arsenal player and Thierry's your guy, you're going to want 14. I'm sorry, Thierry and Nketiah, number 14. That, for me, is just ridiculous. You're like, Elneny, all right, cool, but this brother, it's crazy. It's crazy. Walker Sim said, let's do Elneny again now. Why are people hating? He is England's under-23 top scorer. I mean, that means very little. It means very, very little. Go and look at the teams he played against. Go and look at the standard of that level. You know, it's not difficult. He was playing for England under-21s when he was 22. You're allowed to have some overage players. Assassin said, can't lie, that 14 shirt holds weight. At Arsenal, it holds a lot of weight, man. It holds a lot. Henry made number 14 why it is. Let's be real. Let's not forget we offered Mustafi a new contract. I mean, we've had to convince Eddie Nketiah to sign a new contract with us. I mean, that is just crazy. And apparently with a significant pay rise. If you go and read the full story, he was already on 45 grand a week. So what's the new contract going to be? 80 grand, 90 grand for Eddie? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Congratulations to Buenos becoming a father. Sorry it's late, bro. Didn't catch the last live stream. Big up to Cole. And I'm sure Buenos Aires Guna, if he's in the chat now, will appreciate your kind words. We've all congratulated him. He's becoming a father. And, yeah, lots to look forward to, man. South London's finest. A couple of good purple patches and you get a new deal. Standards are on the floor. I agree. Vinyl London said Nketiah is okay. HLM boys, does okay get you fourth? You know, that's the problem. Does okay get you fourth? No, it doesn't really. And I always say, Hale End doesn't have... People have this thing with Hale End. Oh, they Hale End, they Hale End. Hale End's job is to produce professional footballers who can play in the Premier League. Some of them will play for Arsenal. Some of them you'll sell for a profit. That's what your youth team should do. Look at Chelsea. They're selling man for 20 million who haven't even played for them. Do you know what I mean? So to me, not everything that comes out of Hale End needs to be a first team regular. You know, I've got no problem if you sold Eddie last summer for 10, 11 million, whatever. But I just think this is forced. I think this is massively forced. I don't like this decision at all. We've said many times, I think the general consensus has been Arsenal need two strikers. If you're going to sign Gabriel Jesus, you can't go into next season and tell me that our two striker options are Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. Two quite small strikers. Nah, no. That's not the one, people. I'm sorry. It's not the one. If you get Jesus, cool, get a big guy, somebody that offers you something different. You do not keep this guy as your second choice striker. Buenos Aires says, Carl, much appreciation. Lead by Action said he trains well, though. I mean, yeah, some of the worst players train well. I'm going to be honest with you. And he's in the chat. He said, it will be announced soon that I signed the contract. I promised the club I'll score 20 goals in the league next season. Keep the faith, everyone. Oh, man. Richard said, big up, Big C. Do you think Balogun will come back? Appreciate the super chat, Rich. I think he'll go on loan again. Unless they keep him maybe for Europa League and Cup games. But looked at his stats the other day. I think he scored 3 goals this season in half a season at Middlesbrough. I'm not sure he's developed enough yet to come back and be a first-team regular at Arsenal in terms of Balogun. Abby said, I've always rated him. Yeah, if he scores 20 goals, I'll be shamelessly celebrating, but I just don't see that happening. Aguero was small. You can play in the Prem. Listen, I'm not even dissing these, man, because they're small. You can be small and quality, but I'm saying because of the way Arsenal play and the way they sort of create their chances, I think we needed somebody who had physical presence as a plan B. You've seen the amount of high crosses we put in. Leod said it's because it's the easy choice, typical Arsenal. Yeah, 100%. You know, how can we live in a world as an Arsenal fan where we're giving contracts to Nketiah and Elneny and Xhaka and Holding, and we're binning, you know, players who've got twice the ability just because they're probably, yes, sir, you know, 3 bags full, sir, you know. I don't know, people. Funny done well. Big up with the super chat. Appreciate that. He said, Big C, thank you for all the content. Listening while doing my uni work and just finished the year. Shame Arsenal aren't in the Champions League. We need some big signings this season, but we need new fitness and injury staff. Well, here's your big signings, mate. Eddie Nketiah and Elneny. Double contract announcement, people. And I'm telling you now, wait till he's wearing that number 14 because I see it happening, people. Sign Eddie with no progress next season. You lose Saka, said Babatunde. Listen, Saka ain't going to stay at this club forever, and neither is Martinelli, and neither is Gabriel and Smith Rowe, because their agents will be saying, look, let's say Saka goes to the World Cup and rips it up, all of a sudden, big clubs around Europe will start looking for him, man. They know when you're in the Europa League, you're vulnerable as a football club. They know Arsenal don't have the money. They know that a big offer, Kroenke might take it. So I think you're spot on there. 2,000 of you watching, really appreciate it. Let's see what we're finishing on here. 75% of you saying you wouldn't have give Eddie Nketiah a new contract. 25% say yes. It's a lot different to the Elneny vote where we was 53 and 47, or was it 52 and 48? It was very close anyway. So I think you can see the difference in the Nketiah new contract, because I think where I can understand the logic, even though I've said I wouldn't have kept either one of them, Elneny doesn't really get in the way of new signings. Elneny's not going to be a first-team starter, where Nketiah is going to stop us potentially buying two strikers. So, I don't know. Not overly happy with that. Really not. And I've seen your opinions on it, so appreciate your input on that one, people. So, Nketiah, new deal. Elneny, new deal. Not the news that you want a few days after missing out on Champions League. But we'll have to see on that one, people. Rumours that Juve are looking at Gabriel. Yeah, I think because, what's his name? Chiellini, however you pronounce it. He's on his way to the MLS, and they obviously need a left-sided centre-back. And Gabriel is one that they've had a look at. I think I had the story here. Let me get it back up. Gabriel to Juventus. I think he's already come out and said that he's happy. Here we go. I do have it. I do have the story here about Gabriel being linked to Juventus. Let me share the screen. I don't think he'll go, but you just never know, do you, at this stage? So Sam Dean says, Gabriel Magalhaes is understood to be happy at Arsenal and is unlikely to push for a move away, despite interest from Juventus. Would take an enormous fee for Arsenal to even consider selling the 24-year-old. Interesting that, it says a big fee kind of would make them think about it. I believe he still has 3 years left on his contract. I've said many times, and I've really hyped Gabriel up on this channel, even though at times this season I think he has not been at his best, and sometimes has been a little bit, how can I say it? He's a little bit sometimes rash, tries to win the ball too much sometimes. But I just think the fact he's Brazilian, 24, plays left side centre back, a lot of clubs will look for him, and if he goes to the World Cup with Brazil as well, you'll see the hype really gather around him. But I do think he needs to calm down a little bit with his attacking and the way he tries to win the ball so much. You don't have to be so aggressive about trying to win the ball all the time. So I do think that's something he needs to look at. Red Luddite said, every player has his price. I hear you on that, but I certainly don't think Arsenal should be looking to, let a player of that quality go. He's definitely too good to be letting go at this stage. So, yeah. Maguire cost 80 million, 120 million at least for Gabby. What's this here? Yeah, no, we wouldn't get 120 million for him. That is for sure, people. Craig said, I like a bit of aggression, but there's a fine line. You got to be focused. 100%. 100%. He should learn it now. He's been in the Premier League long enough to understand that you can't try and bully everyone. Sometimes you just got to stand up. Graham said, Curtis, I believe that Eddie will be nothing more than third choice striker. I'm convinced we will be signing Jesus or Gnabry. Then another number 9 will also be signed. I don't know. I like to think that, but I'm not totally sure of that. I think Eddie will have been saying to them, listen, I need to play. I need to be playing. I need to be at least second choice. And I don't think he would stay as third choice. I've got to be honest. So that's where I'm a little bit worried. I don't see Gnabry joining a club in the Europa League. I just don't. Babatunde said, Big C, your thoughts on Wenger power management with senior players? Hope to see you in Florida. I hope so. Hopefully I'll get over there. I did see an interview with Arsene Wenger saying that, I think he was asked about the way Arteta dealt with the Aubameyang situation and saying, sometimes you have to treat a special player a little bit different. But he then did say if it goes too far that you have kind of got to put the club ahead of that player and kind of, move on sometimes from that player. But then it didn't always work necessarily for Arsene Wenger. So I don't buy into everything what he says when he says that. And you know what? While you've brought that up, there is a story going around today about Oba. Yeah, people saying positivity through the roof. No way we're getting Gnabry. Gnabry in the Europa League, there's not a chance. There's absolutely no chance he comes to us. Gnabry going Madrid. MD said positivity over the roof. Donnie said, all right, Big C, hearing different perspectives from fans from different teams reassures me we will lose the likes of Saka if we carry on showing little ambition. Where's KP and his dream selling? Listen, I'm going to try and get Kev back on this week, to be honest. I'm gonna have to call it. He told me, yo, listen, get top 4 humble pie. The humble pie is waiting for him. I'm going to message him today. This story came out of James Ollie on ESPN, who said, in Mikel Arteta's opinion, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's attitude around the club's London Colney training base had become a significant problem when Arsenal's decision makers met to determine Aubameyang's fate in January. Which is interesting because a lot of the things that I always heard was that Aubameyang was good around the training ground, apart from the turning up late. But they're now feeding this other narrative as well. The PR machine will always do its job at Arsenal. We know that for sure. And it goes on to say, sources insist there was no big bust up or one particular egregious breach of the rules, but the catalyst for Aubameyang's departure to Barcelona was that Arteta felt his behaviour was threatening the cultural reset he is intent on delivering. I mean, how do you view that, people? When I was reading the story, it was kind of saying that Arteta felt that Aubameyang had too much influence in the dressing room. Now, I don't know. I think it's very easy once a player's left to blame him and say, oh, he was threatening the cultural reset. Now, I get it. On one hand, you're the captain. You're the star player and you're turning up late. Young players are looking at that and saying, all right, that's you're not showing the right example there. But at the end of the day, he played for Arsene Wenger, no problem. He played for Unai Emery, no problem. He plays for Mikel Arteta, who seems to be the most, how can I say, power-hungry manager out of the three, and all of a sudden, let's get rid of him because he's threatening the cultural reset. My question would be back to that. What about Granit Xhaka? What about Granit Xhaka getting 11 yellow cards, getting sent off twice, telling the fans to F off, throwing the armband, doing interviews, calling out players when he himself has not been good enough to play for this football club? Why is there no problem with Mikel Arteta, with Granit Xhaka? But how come Aubameyang was such a big deal? Because you felt probably that he had power in the dressing room, and he probably... See, the thing I think, Mikel Arteta as a player and Aubameyang as a player are the complete opposite. You couldn't get any different. Apparently, Mikel Arteta always turned up early. He spoke at length to the managers. Apparently, he used to speak to Wenger after training a lot. You know what type of guy he is, right? He wasn't driving gold Lamborghinis. He didn't have Gucci headbands on. He wasn't wearing diamond Rolex and basketball shirts in LA in pre-season. I think there is a clash of culture between Arteta and Aubameyang. And this is what I'm saying about Aubameyang and leaving, and the way Arteta needs to learn to deal with different people. Some of these players that you're going to manage, they're going to be flashy guys. They're rich. They're multimillionaires. They're young. They've come from nothing. It's going to be totally different. And I don't think he knows, and I don't think he likes working with players like that. And I think that's something he has to learn to deal with, because this, to me, sounds like cap. There's no real evidence. There's no real reason. All right, his behaviour was threatening the cultural reset. So what was it? You're saying there was no big bust-up. There was no major breach of the rules. So what was he doing that was so bad? And again, Arsenal feeding out the PR, because they know End of the season, didn't score enough goals. People are going to say, why did you bin Aubameyang? So now they're going to throw out a story saying he was threatening the dressing room's reset. Pure cap for me, in my opinion. Jashar said, big up Curtis, sounds like cap. Big up yourself, bro. Did really appreciate you coming on the members stream the other day. E. Ross said, the club is such a soap opera. It's annoying. It's just another chapter, innit, of the Amazon documentary. Let's be totally real. Yeah, Aubameyang was threatening the dressing room. In what way? In what way? You're saying there was no major bust-up, so what was the problem? But we move. I knew this would happen. End of the season, the stories will start falling out and the blame game will begin. You know, who caused us to mess up? Who did what wrong? Why did we let that player go? For me, it's very frustrating. I think they should have gone into more detail because I still think it's unforgivable to allow him to leave in January, not replace him, then miss out on top four and think that that's acceptable. You know, why do they not question him further about that in the press conferences? But again, they're probably not allowed to. You know, this is the problem with Arsenal. It's a very closed shop and their PR is very, very hush-hush, that is for sure. This is what I always say to people, you know. Sometimes people say to me, right, and I said this on the member stream the other day. Sometimes people say, "Oh, at times, you know, you're saying things against the club because you feel that if you say that, it's going to get you traction." And I say, what you need to understand, when you say things against Arsenal, you look at the way Arsenal deal with social media content creators. It's a very closed shop. They don't let many people in. Man United are working with content creators. Liverpool are working with content creators. Chelsea are working with them. Arsenal don't. And I'm telling you now, if you say anything negative about the football club, you'll never work with Arsenal. Right? So by me coming out and saying this club, I feel they're feeding us PR, they're signing players on that aren't good enough. I'm actually making my own kind of YouTube career, if you like, more difficult because Arsenal will probably say, yo, keep him away. You know, he's criticising us. He don't like the manager. He's saying that these new signings, new contracts aren't good enough. So I think what people have to understand is kind of the other way round. It's very easy for me to sit here and say, oh, we've signed Elneny, good signing, and oh, Nketiah, you know, Hale End, and oh, you know, it's very much the other way around, people. And that's not me firing shots at anybody. I'm just trying to show you the narrative of how it is behind closed doors. It's much riskier to come out and call the club out than it is to just agree with everything that they say, with what they're saying. And I don't agree with it. I think, you know, just because you support the club, you don't have to agree with everything they do. And I think a lot of what they do is PR. One more thing before we move on. A bit more PR from Arsenal. Because Arsenal know now that there's a bit of a mess that they need to clean up. From the transfer window. Everyone's questioning January and this, that, the other. So now they're going to throw the Vlahovic story out there as well. They're going to throw the Vlahovic story out there. Oh, did we try and sign Vlahovic? I said your name's on the list. You defo shadow, but hey, man, listen, it is what it is, people. So now James Ollie again. So obviously he's been given the word from Arsenal. Right, get this story out. Tell them that Aubameyang was a problem. And tell them that we tried to get Vlahovic. Arsenal held an interest in Dusan Vlahovic, but senior figures at the club privately played down reports that multiple offers were made. The strong suspicion at Arsenal is that Vlahovic joining Juventus was always the plan, and other clubs were used as a smokescreen. I mean, listen, I don't need James Ollie to tell me that. I think we could all work that out from day one, that we were a smokescreen, you know. This brother never wanted to come to Arsenal. We all saw the stories, 30 missed calls, wasn't answering, blah, blah, blah. We know this. My question is, why did you purely go for him and no one else? You know, he's actually been getting booed by Juventus. So the move hasn't worked out great. They also go on to say, sources have told ESPN that Arsenal had a bad feeling about the deal early on, as Vlahovic representatives took several days or often longer to reply to initial enquiries as Arsenal explored what a deal could potentially look like. I mean, it's not difficult to figure out that he wasn't really interested in the deal. He's ignoring calls. He's taking days to ring back. We know what time it is. He was waiting for Juventus to come with the money. But again, it's PR. It's PR, people. You know, now they're gonna start throwing. Now they're gonna start throwing these stories out. That they tried to get him but didn't feel like they could get it over the line. So, yeah. Read the room, Arsenal, someone said. Listen, the thing is now, they know there's a lot of discontent. They know a lot of people are saying, it's not good enough. Why was Aubameyang sold? Why did we not sign Vlahovic? So now they go, right, James Ollie, there you go. Put that story out as an exclusive and, you know, tell everyone that Aubameyang was a problem and that Vlahovic, we tried everything to get him, you know. It's one of them. Block number settings left us in the blue tick. I'm telling you, they're lying as usual, said names block. Bro didn't pick up the phone. Man's ringing man back on a Friday after you've, you know, dropped him a message on Monday. He ain't interested, man. Arsenal PR winning titles since 2007. We're the kings of PR. Just not quite playing on the pitch. That's the problem. So, yeah, that's the end of their capping anyway. That's the end of their capping. Let's look ahead. Let's look ahead, people. Charles Watts has come out with a story now. I take this story, you know, I don't know how to look at this story. Yeah, on the face of it, this story gets me excited. But then I'm doing the maths here. And I'm going, well, if Jesus is meant to be coming and Nketiah has got a new contract, how does this deal ever happen? Well, Charles Watts has said Victor Osimhen's agent flew in for talks with Arsenal last week. The Nigerian striker is high up on Arsenal's target list this summer. Now, the story is there on the Goal website. Charles Watts, who obviously is pretty close to Arsenal. You know, he's at all the press conferences. Apparently, his agent flew to London last week for a meeting with Edu. And it's one of them. The story says that it's going to cost at least 80 million. So to get Osimhen through the door, we're going to have to break our transfer record to get Osimhen in. Now, again, is this cap? Are they actually trying to do the deal? Now, just as an example, Osimhen only scored 14 league goals this season. I mean, that's by no means amazing numbers. You know, they have made it into the Champions League. But is he worth £80 million? Now, listen, I like the fact that his agents flew to London and had a meeting with Edu. It shows that Osimhen must be interested in moving to Arsenal at the right price if his agent's flown over. But I just don't know if Arsenal could get this deal done. I'm just trying to see here what Osimhen's wages are at Napoli. So Osimhen's on £110,000 a week. He's 22 years of age, Nigerian international, scored 14 league goals this season. And he's obviously had a couple of injuries this season. He had that injury on his cheek that has caused him to wear this this mask that he's been wearing. KD said, I genuinely believe Arsenal PR listens to you. Most of their stories are spun from what we've discussed. Listen, I'll tell you one thing. Arsenal listen to a lot of content creators, a lot of them. You'd be surprised. Just to get the general feeling of what's going on. Sarvesh said he's overrated. I like him. I just don't think he's worth 80 million. And 14 league goals is not enough to drop that kind of bag on the floor, you know. Sean said he's had injuries, so goal count would be low. And to be fair, he's only played 27 games out of 38. So Harrison said, this is a big no for me. Super overrated and way too expensive. Someone said I missed a super chat. Peely, let me scroll back up. Peely, apologies for that. Where are you? Peely said, Curtis, do Liverpool and Man City need spin? No, they do the talking on the pitch. Spin is needed when something is underperforming. Totally agree with you on that. Totally agree. You use PR to like you said, change the narrative and make people believe that things are going to happen. Look at what Arsenal have done since the season's finished, right? We've given a new contract to Elneny and told us, oh, Elneny's done great. He's fantastic in the dressing room. It's only a short deal, so we do that. Then they're going to give Nketiah probably number 14 and give him a new deal. Then they'll say he's from Hale End. He's under 21 England top goal scorer. He's got a massive future. He's one of our own. So they'll feed you that narrative. Then they'll throw a story out there that Aubameyang was disruptive and that Vlahovic used us to get a move to Juventus. So there's another defence mechanism. Then they say, right, Charles Watts, you put out an exclusive saying that we've had a meeting with Osimhen's agent and we're ready to break our transfer record and pay £80 million for Osimhen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. And Napoli are not Lille. They're not going to take some Klarna payment plan, you pay 15 up front, then pay the rest. Napoli are one of the most difficult teams in world football to negotiate with. That's why Koulibaly's never left. That's why Higuain cost about 90 million when he left. It won't happen. Osimhen, 40 million plus Pepe. Listen, I'd be all over that deal. They, of course, were linked with Pepe before we signed him, but would they still want him after the 3 seasons he's had at Arsenal? Usman said, Big C, what's going on with Darwin Núñez? I don't think nothing's going on with Arsenal and Darwin Núñez. The brother wants Champions League football, so I can't see him coming to Arsenal. Soham said, honestly speaking, I want Osimhen. If you don't break the bank, you will not get rewards. I've said many times, I'd like Osimhen at Arsenal. I think he's big, strong, quick, and he's very difficult to defend against. But I just think 80 million is probably too much for what he's produced at Napoli so far. Ben said, Curtis, just watched Barcelona live in Sydney. Great to see Aubameyang, but boy, did we miss out on Dembele. Yeah, I see that they're playing like an end-of-season game in Sydney. Big up Ben, who's been to watch. I think they won, didn't they? I saw, I think Ansu Fati scored. But Dembele, I mean, there are rumours Dembele could be going to PSG on a free. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think, was it Emery or Wenger? We did try and get Dembele when he was at Dortmund, but, I mean, you look at the price he went for, it was never going to happen. Neil said Patrick Schick, 24 goals in 27 games. I mean, that is some season. Why is this guy not being linked with moves? I know that the manager of his club, Leverkusen, came out and said he wouldn't leave this summer at any price. 24 goals and 4 assists this season in 27 games. That's a fantastic record. He also got 5 in 5 in the Euros. Genuinely surprised no one is looking. But listen, in terms of Osimhen, if we got Osimhen, I wouldn't complain. I like him. He's quick, he's pacey, he's unorthodox, he's difficult to play against. I'm just not sure that Arsenal are going to drop 80 million on a Napoli player who Napoli are going to want the majority of that money up front. And I just don't know if we're going to do that. If we got him, I wouldn't complain. Ben said Barca won 3-2. Harish said all current strikers Arsenal are linked with are overrated and overpriced, which is why I think that we will sign Gabriel Jesus. Because he's good value for money in this market. Cousin Ski said, I like your streams, but you're overcritical sometimes. We need a big squad next season. Europa League, Winter World Cup, and 5 subs. I do agree with that. He said, we need players, so no shame in extending a couple man. So relax, please. Hey, listen, you relax, please. Yeah? I hear what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. But also, this ain't about quantity. This is about quality. It's not about quantity. Yeah, you can put a bag of players on the bench and say, yeah, man, 5 subs, World Cup, we can rotate. But who you rotating? The gap's too big. You can't take Thomas Partey out and then put Elneny in for a long period of time. You can't take Osimhen or whoever, Núñez or Jesus, and then go for Eddie and Nketiah. The drop's too big. So I respect what you're saying. You do need a big squad. We've only got 19 first-team players, but they got to be proper players. You might need a timeout for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I told you, listen, I don't mind people being critical of what I'm saying. This is what this channel is all about. Open debate, people, as long as you're respectful. And he was respectful. But you can't tell me relax, brethren. We just come fifth. We just come fifth, people. Man said Ski gave me a timeout. Nah, man, you need 3 minutes to consider your actions, brethren. Nah, man. Man's coming in. I think that's Eddie and Nketiah's burner account, man. I'm telling you. But big up yourself anyway. It's all respectful, people. It's all respectful. I said, take your time with it. Take your time with it. No, man, I ain't banning him, man. Let him talk, man. Let the people them talk, man. This is an open community, you know. But big up. Listen, a lot of what he said was cool, but you know, telling me relax, you need to relax. Yeah, I can't be. Imagine us making 5 subs, yeah, and we're bringing on Nuno Tavares, Cedric, Elneny, Eddie Nketiah, and Granit Xhaka. You happy with that? You happy with that 5 changes? When we're playing Man City and they're bringing on, you know, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Grealish, Gundogan, and I don't know, Zinchenko or something. Yeah, man, relax yourself. But big up Cousin Ski. I like the interaction. And it's, you know, I don't mind. Curtis be like, get me a timeout, Dave. Oh, dear me. Relax, nobody. Take a sip of wine and relax. If you were the manager, which players would you go for? Basuma. Basuma would be in. Get that court case dealt with. Get him in. Get him in. He's a beast. And I can't understand why one of the top clubs haven't bought him. I think he's a monster. Striker, you've got to get a top striker, but top strikers are going to cost big money. I like Nunes, but I don't think we can get him. You know, all them Gnabry's and that, I just don't think we can get any of them now. So we got to be clever. I think we need 2 midfielders. I'd get Basuma and a ball player. Maybe a Tillemans, a Aouar, a Neves. I mean, like Ayman's saying here, yeah, Basuma, they're saying 30, 35 million, Aouar for 12. Imagine getting Basuma and Aouar for 40 odd million. That's an absolute bargain. Jesus and another striker. Basuma and Aouar. Bring Saliba back. Sign a new left back. Sign a new right back. I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with that window. I think that'd be decent. That gives you quality. Cousin Ski said, I hear you, Curtis. It's all love being a supporter since day dot. It's cool, bro. It's fine. I don't mind. As long as it's respectful, it's cool, bro. KD said, Big C, I have a feeling no matter what Arsenal does next season, with this manager, we'd never finish 4th. Time will tell. Listen, at the moment, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't see Arsenal. I don't see how do we bridge that gap next season? This is the question that I would ask most people. I'd say, right, how do we bridge that gap? I don't know if people saw, but yesterday, Spurs came out and said they've had a £150 million injection into the club. Now, it's not known whether all of that's going to go to transfers, but you don't want to see that when that's one of the teams that you're competing with, and Antonio Conte is the manager in charge. 150 million pumped into Spurs for them to go and spend. Chelsea takeover, complete, a bit of paperwork, and they're done. So Chelsea, and apparently, I don't know if you've read, this new Chelsea owner saying 200 million. 200 million for Tuchel, first transfer window. 200 million. And the man's just come in. And this is why I said so many times, people, we needed to get new owners in. When we had Kroenke on the ropes, and the brother from Spotify was there, Daniel Ek and Henri, this guy's come in, and I know it's a different owner, but Chelsea, 200 million, bang, there you go. Fix that team. Tottenham, 150 million, bang, Conte, go and fix the team. Liverpool and City, you know, Liverpool signed Diaz. They're going to sign other players. City had Haaland and other players. How do we catch those teams? Then you got to throw Ten Hag in there. Ten Hag's going to spend 150, 200 million. So this is why I'm worried. You know, you keep too many Eddies, Elnenys, Holdings, Xhakas. You aren't even going to have space to bring in top quality players. So Jorge said Kevin Campbell was told by Trust the Process not to come to Big C anymore. She Knows Football said, I've been saying get Osimhen since December. On She Knows Football, nobody listens. You guys are, hey, come on, go easy, man, go easy. Osimhen is a game changer. Wake up. Listen, he's quality, but, you know, 80 million, you need certified quality. 14 goals is not ruthless, but I do like him. I would take him. I can't lie. Anyway, let's move on. We finish up with man like William Saliba. Mikel Arteta has finally come out and spoken about him in an interview with RMC. And Mikel Arteta said this yesterday, people. He said, on Saliba, he said he has to come back. He has the experience and environment to be competitive with us. William was not with us because he would not have had the playing time to gain experience. That's all, nothing else. I don't know if I'm reading into this too much. It's just interesting that he says he has to come back. But I get it. He's got 2 years left on his deal. So even if Saliba... And I have to say, just to add a little bit of context, I read the full transcript of Saliba's interview after his last game for Marseille. And even though the headlines were, I want to kind of... He did say, I would like to stay at Marseille. But he also kind of alluded to the fact that his future wasn't in his hands and that he needed to speak to Arsenal. He was saying he would stay at Marseille, but kind of left the door open. I just think he hasn't been told by Arsenal, which is strange. It kind of feels like nobody's told him whether he's coming back to Arsenal or not. And that's why I think he's so keen on staying at Marseille. Now, if I'm William Saliba's agent, I'm saying, bro, you're in the French squad. You've just played 40 games for Marseille. You've been voted Young Player of the Year, and you're in Team of the Season. You can't do much better than that if you go back to Arsenal. The only thing is, he clearly had an ambition to make it in the Premier League. The fact that he came here at 18 years of age. I just think he needs that arm round him from Arteta. And Arteta to say, listen, you're part of my plans. You're going to play. You, Ben White, Gabriel, you're my free centre-backs. Sometimes I'll play you in a free. Sometimes I'll play two of you. And I'm going to push you to that next level. I even want to give you a new contract. He clearly hasn't been spoken to properly by the manager. I really hope he comes back to Arsenal next season because I think he's a big, big talent. Big up Fran in the chat who said, yes, community. He said, man must be crazy coming back. Listen, I suppose that the only thing you could say to Saliba is that you've got 2 years left on your deal. If this guy says you're coming back, you're coming back. The thing is, if Saliba is adamant that he doesn't want to come back, I don't think Arteta would bring him back because Arteta just strikes me as that personality. If you sat down in a meeting and said, I don't want to come back to Arsenal. I don't like the way you treated me. I've done well at Marseille. I want to stay in France. I'm in the French squad. Then I think Arteta would probably sell him. I still think a lot depends on that meeting between the two of them. Craig said, I'm praying this means a Saliba and Gabriel partnership. Listen, I think that from what I've seen, I think Saliba's better than Ben White. However, you just never know until a player is in that division. We've seen players thrive. Timo Werner was I wouldn't say a world beater, but he was a fantastic striker in Germany. He can't hit a barn door in this country, Different environment can change things. Ali, apologies, bro. Said, I miss your last super chat. He said, in my opinion, Saliba's got to relax. He's only 21. Not sure why he demands first-team football at a club like Arsenal. Listen, I think that you're almost... In football, I would say you're as good and as big as your circumstances at that current moment. I don't think that him being 21 has actually got much to do with him demanding first-team football. I think he's looking at it saying, I've just proved myself at Marseille, one of the biggest clubs in France. He's played in Europe this year, got to a semi-final. He's got them in the Champions League. He's in the French squad. He's been picked over Upamecano and Konate from Liverpool. I think the circumstances around him tell him that you've got every right to demand first-team football because of what you've done in the past 12 months. I understand what you're saying, 21, you could say, chill, but if I'm him, I'm looking at Ben White and saying, well, why should Ben White play ahead of me? What's Ben White done better than me? Ben White's only just got in the England squad, and England's centre-backs are not very good. He's in the French squad. They're the world champions. So Ben White, if I'm Saliba, I'm looking at him saying I should be playing ahead of him. I've done more than him. I'm Young Player of the Year. I'm in Team of the Year. I'm in the French squad. So I can understand him demanding regular football. Football is a short career. He can't afford to sit around and say, well, you know what? Let me go and sit on Arsenal's bench for 2 years because careers are very short, people. Careers are very short. You've got to strike while the iron's hot. It's also a World Cup year as well. And players want to play in that World Cup. The final bit of the story, as we scroll down, he went on to say, on Saliba, he said, "We made the right decision loaning him. If he had stayed with us this year, with one Premier League match a week, with Ben White and Gabriel, he would not have had half the playing time he had with Marseille. For his growth, it would not have been good." See, I understand what he's saying here, but also I don't agree with all of it. And I'll tell you why. Because how does Mikel Arteta know that Saliba wouldn't have been better than Gabriel and Ben White? You know, you're almost saying that, in your opinion then, he must have looked at Saliba in the summer and thought, you know what, Gabriel and Ben White are better than him. But at the same time, how do you know that throughout the season he might not have been better than them? Now, let me tell you something. I think if Saliba comes back this summer, it looks like they've done the right thing. It looks like they've done the right thing because this season's loan has been very successful for him. I have no problem, with the fact that Saliba's on loan at Marseille this season because I think this loan has done him the world of good. He went back to France, he played for a big club, played in Europe, developed his game. Beautiful. Love it. I actually think the loan was the right thing. What my problem is all the question marks over him coming back. It should have been clear from day one. You're going on loan, you're doing your business, and you're coming back to Arsenal. You're our player. We rate you. We want to give you a new contract. He's only got 2 years left, and you bring him back. So I have no problem with the loan. I actually think the loan has worked. He's done brilliant at Marseille. I just don't like the question marks over his future. Get him back in. And when they've asked Arteta around him before, he says things like, we'll see how he does in pre-season. I mean, you say that about players that are on trial, not a £30 million centre-back that should be coming into your, pushing for a starting lineup place. So it is what it is. Benny's Arteta's pet. Here we go. Rack's coming for me. Rack said, "Curtis, you're flip-flopping now. Abused all the way and now you're flipping." No. Listen to me, Rax. What I'm saying is, the loan, cool. The loan was cool. He needed regular game time. We weren't in Europe. You went with Ben White and Gabriel. Do I agree with that? Probably not, but you went with that. The loan itself has been very successful. Yeah, I'm telling you, there might have to be another time out here, but it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, you get a time out. You can't be... No, but listen. It's about him coming back, and it's about telling him that you're coming back. Why is he still saying, I need to talk to the club? Season's finished. So, I've given him a 3-minute timeout, by the way. I won't block him. I'll give him 3 minutes. Go on the naughty step and consider your actions. Some of you coming in on violence today. It's a good job I'm just laid back, It's calm. More timeouts than the NBA playoffs. Saliba has to come back. My problem is, Saliba's going to come in that meeting and say, right, what circumstances am I coming back under? Because you've played Gabriel and Ben White pretty much every week. So am I sitting on the bench, And you're in Europa League while Marseille are in the Champions League. So, yeah, I don't know. That's going to be an interesting meeting. But listen, if we believe what Arteta's saying here, he'll be back at the football club next season. I hope that happens. So we'll have to see. Do you ban people for saying Curtis equals a legend? No, we celebrate them comments. Jay Hilton said, you're a laid-back guy. That's why you come on here as a Tottenham fan. Yeah, listen, it's open debate, people. I don't avoid them comments, What is your ideal window? I mean, as I said, my ideal window, get a left-back, a good left-back who can challenge Tierney. I would loan out Tavares. I would sign a right-back, get rid of Cedric. I'd bring back Saliba. I'd get rid of Rob Holding as well. And I'd probably buy another centre-back, an experienced one. Yeah, I don't know what's going on today, people. It's a wicked Wednesday, man. You know what I mean? People coming for me, but it's cool, people. It's all love. I can take it. I'd get 2 centre mids. Like I said, Basuma and Aouar, I think for 42 million. would be great business for them too. And I'd get 2 strikers, Jesus, because I think he's good value for money. He's small, he's versatile, he can press. And then I'd get a bigger striker, somebody with a bit of physical presence. I'd love to get a Nunes or an Osimhen, but they'll be expensive. So we'll have to see. Cyborg said it's hump day. Andrew said, I don't know if Saliba is returning is for PR because of the discontent. Arteta can mistreat him when he comes back. He can. And he knows as well that we've got Europa League. So even if I don't really want to play this guy, I can just chuck him in the Europa League. That keeps him quiet for a little bit and give him the odd league game, chuck him a Carabao Cup, chuck him an FA Cup, and he can keep him quiet there, So, yeah, we'll have to see. I hope he's back, though. Scott said, Wicked Wednesday, man, I'm telling you. Jay said, but I also like your strong opinions also. Yeah, man, we don't mix it. We say it as it is. She Knows Football, big up for becoming a member on the channel. Really appreciate it. We will do another member stream, I would say, in 2 weeks. We'll let a bit of transfer news happen first. Let's get through a few of your comments before I round up. Saliba ahead of Konate and Upamecano. This manager will still pick Ben over him. Wasim said, Lee Judge has made a good point. This is the first time Arteta will sign a striker. No more excuses left if he doesn't make top 4. I mean, he's already had a lot of excuses, but I hear you. Would you sell Tierney for 50 million to Newcastle if it's real? I would consider it. I like Tierney and I would keep him. But 50 million... 50 million for an injury-prone left-back. For me, Tierney's got 1 more year to save his Arsenal career. If he gets a long injury again, I would sell him next summer. But 50 million for Tierney, he's hard to replace. That's the problem. He's hard to replace. There aren't many good left-back. I would give him 1 more year. Because then you've got Tavares, no one else. But 50 million, I would have to consider it. I can't lie. You paid 25 million for him and he's injury prone. But you've got to get a quality replacement. Saliba's English is not that good. How do you improve the language if you're loaned in France? Apparently he's learning French, learning English though. So we'll have to see. Some reports were out that he was learning English. She Knows Football said, be careful. Some famous ballers aren't the trolls you think they are. Famous people in the chat. Big up. God bless. Hey, well, you never know. It'd be interesting if some of these accounts were actually the player, but I doubt they'd be under their real name. Captain Sal, thanks for your entertaining watch-alongs. People, just before I round up, I will be doing the Champions League watch-along on Saturday night. Looking forward to that game. I think I'm going Wembley on Saturday to go and watch my former club, Mansfield. I think they've thrown me a ticket, so I'm going to probably go and watch that in the day on Saturday, and then Saturday evening we'll do the Champions League final watch along. I'll be obviously watching Forest as well on watching Forest on Sunday in the playoffs final, and tomorrow's show, by the way, I'll be doing a show tomorrow with Fran, FFTV. He'll be back on here. We're going to review the season. We're going to look at what our predictions were at the start of the season, where they ended up, and we'll probably do a Premier League team of the season as well. So make sure you join me for that tomorrow, 2 p.m. Lots of interaction, bit of fun, bit of debate. We'll look over the latest transfer news, and then I'll probably put out a pre-recorded video tomorrow, later on in the day, with the with some transfer news, because I won't go over that too much with Fran. So I will do that. So that's what you've got coming up anyway, people. Lots of content, even though the season's finished. There won't be a Conference League watch-along tonight. I got to be honest. I'll have that on in the background, but I always say I don't want to sell you short. I won't cover games that I've got no real major interest in. She Knows Football, if you guys only knew. Curtis equals legend. Big up. Really appreciate your super chats. And yeah, we're out of here, people. Enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you join me 2 p.m. tomorrow. 2,600 of you in the chat. 60 of you on Twitch. Subscribe. Like the video. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.